All right, so who do we have here? This is Mike. And what's your name, young man?
Brandon?
Brandon. Okay, and how old are you, Brandon? You're like 10?
No, 4.
He is 4 years old. All right, so Mike and Brandon are here today because Mike is going to get his first chance to see and drive a car that's been in his family for a long time. So, Mike, what's the quick story on this car? How long have you known of its existence?
My grandfather in 1960.
Okay.
There's a project. They put it together as. I have never seen it complete.
You've never. So, have you ever driven in the vehicle?
No.
Have you ever driven in it, Mike?
Yes.
You have driven it. So, what years were you actually inside the vehicle when it rolled down the road?
With my grandfather from 1980 until his passing in '88, and then.
Okay,
From
so
that point forward, I was using it when my mom was driving it.
okay, so when was the last time this car was on the road? About what year?
99.
99. So about 20 years ago. And then what happened in 1999, 20 years ago?
I got a job, got married, and life took over.
But what? How did that stop the vehicle from running?
Well, basically the car, the paint got really bad shape. The motor stopped running because the carburetor was all messed up.
Okay.
And it kind of just sat while my wife and I grew a family.
Okay. Now, how many little guys do you have? We've got Brandon here with you, and he's actually 4. I know he acts like he's 10 sometimes, but he's really just 4, right?
That's right.
Yeah, but...
And so you tell me you have a sister named Allison.
Yeah, I have a sister named Allison, and my brother's name is Connor.
And they're at school today.
Mm-hmm.
So they're at school. That's a crazy place to be, isn't it?
Yeah.
Are you playing hooky?
Say nope.
No?
No? Okay, you haven't started school yet. All right. So, have you or your brother or sister ever seen this car run before?
No.
No? Okay, so this will be a first time. Okay, hello, Robert. This is to Robert. I'm not sure how we're supposed to wave to him, but Robert has joined us. He is the pastor for my church. So he's joined us. Now, this car actually comes with a fairly sad story because you were building it sort of for your kids. Your daughter?
My daughter, my wife and I had my daughter in 2008.
2008.
Yeah.
And you had a personal tragedy with your wife.
Yeah, my wife somehow or another got abdominal cancer, and we lost her in 2017.
So
everything's been put on hold since she got sick, obviously.
yeah, and if I can ask, how old was she?
She was 43.
43 years old. That's incredibly young to have such an obviously horrible tragedy sort of jump into your life. So so this family's been through a lot. So it was a little bit interesting to me that you wanted to build a car. So Mike, why is this car so important to you? Why do you care about a 1931 Chevrolet?
It always symbolized family for me, my grandfather.
Yeah, but my other sister is named Madison.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and she comes to Mom Jack's house when I'm there.
Okay.
The car always was a family outing for me when I was young, and I wanted the same experience for my children.
So how old were you the first time you remember seeing this car?
6.
You were 6 years old. So your daddy was just about the age of you right now, maybe just a little bit older. So your daddy, did you realize that your daddy was a little guy like you not that long ago? Did you know that?
Yeah.
You did, huh? Well, he sure was. So your daddy was just a little older than you the first time he saw this car, and your grandfather took you out for a ride in it. So today, your dad is going to take you out in the same car that your grandfather took him out when he was about your age. Is that pretty cool or what?
It's cool.
Okay. So this car, when you brought it here, it was in pieces, and a lot of the pieces had been damaged. It had been painted, but a lot of those parts had been fairly damaged through just time and transportation and all sorts of things. So we had to get your car running. We had to sort of finish it electrically. We had to get some chrome work done. We had to reconstruct the floorboards. We had to deal with the fact that the engine, the oil pump in it, produced no oil pressure. And guess what? Guess how many 1931 Chevrolet oil pumps are available brand new today?
Probably 0.
Yeah, that would be 0. So we ended up reconstructing your oil pump, and we worked with the old parts store.
Filling station.
The filling station, yeah. The guys and gals of the filling station were a lot of help. The owner of the filling station actually came in and helped us several times, getting us some used parts that we needed. So we built your car with as many authentic parts, and I know you'd been collecting parts for years too. So it's been a long time since you've seen this car go down the road. Are you ready to see it again as a finished car?
I want to probably cry before it's all over.
Okay. So Brandon, are you ready to go see this car? You gonna hold your daddy's hand? Okay. So folks, it is time for that moment where, you see, Mike has not seen this car together for 20 years. And 20 years ago, it didn't look all that good. So basically, this moment in time is going to be a whole lot like the moment in time when he was 8 years old. He first saw it, and it was his grandfather and he that went for a ride. A very cool memory for him. And I think at this point, little young Brandon is about to have a similar moment. And of course, for Mike, he gets to relive that same time. So what do you say we go do this, guys? Come on, let's go. And then who gets to start it?
You want to start it?
Who's going to get to start this machine? You? Okay, I think that's actually a pretty cool idea, because you will be able to start this 1931 Chevrolet 5-window Independence Coupe. So let me get a few feet ahead of you, and come on out through our double doors. And of course, Heidi's going to join us. Heidi is very excited about seeing it as well. So come on out, and let's look at this very cool old Independence Coupe. Come on. We've got the car parked here in the shop. There's a couple things we need to go over. Heidi is, of course, checking in on it and making sure it's ready. So, Brandon, what do you think of this car? You like it? It's a pretty cool, cool car, isn't it?
Smell it.
What do you think, Mike?
I love it. It reminds me of my grandpa.
I mean,
I can smell it. I can smell where you run it.
Yep. So as you look around it, of course, at this point, you know, put together, I would imagine it looks a whole lot like it did back. Well, how old are you now, Mike?
39.
You are 39. So this is over 30 years since you've seen it probably look like this, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. So Brandon, what do you think about a car that is way older than your grandfather, probably as old as your great-grandfather was? What do you think of that? You like it?
Yep.
I think it's a very cool car. So what do you think overall of the effect that we've been able to bring back? Because all the lights work, the horn works, it starts up. The fan, the cool little fan. I mean, I got to tell you, for me, I'm into cool stuff. That fan, which of course that is 1931 air conditioning, folks. It aims right at the driver's face. So you get a chance. Now, I'll bet you remember that fan, don't you?
Yes, I do. I remember him flipping it around, using it as a defroster too sometimes.
As a defroster. Now, your grandfather, he drove this car, didn't he?
Yeah, see, everywhere we went, he drove it.
I mean, and can we agree that in the 80s and that this was not an up-to-date vehicle, even in the early 80s, right?
No, it wasn't.
So you guys weren't exactly blasting through traffic in this car, were you?
No, maybe 30, 35 at tops.
But that's cool, isn't it? I mean, that's part of what makes this car fun, is that it is directly out of the 1930s. So what we did, folks, was you know, these fenders had been fairly badly damaged in the transitions. These running boards had been, well, they had never been restored. They were kind of rotted out, and we completely reconstructed them. We restored all of the trim on the running boards. Of course, then with the help of the filling station, replaced the rubber. Took care of everything from glass lenses in the taillights to some of the chrome parts. You can see the detail. I'm giving Mike and his son Brandon a chance to just sort of take a look at a few things. So we've tried to go through the car, and like this particular fender was badly damaged. So we sort of brought it back, and then of course we came inside and did all. Everything in here is original. That's the correct paint scheme on the dash. That's the actual correct 1931, what would have been like a dealer aftermarket heater system. So everything on this car is the way it should be from 1931. So any detail we missed that you can see so far?
No.
Okay, let's pop that engine bay and take a look at it. And of course, it's got the hook on it, so as you lift it, it okay, so that's that powerhouse, that 1931 inline 4 with a generator.
Six.
Oh,
Inline 6.
okay, I'm a moron today. It's an inline 6. Actually, inline 6s were fairly uncommon in 1931 among the smaller GM products. Now, if you had a Cadillac, you could get a much bigger engine than that. But all right, so we've got an inline 6. You've got basically your updraft side. Actually, this one's a side draft style of carburetor. You've got a vacuum pump that feeds it. This is the old 6-volt generator, and everything on this car is still like it was in 1931. So, is it time for Mr. Brandon to start this vehicle?
Yeah.
Do you think you can do it? Okay, we left you a cheat sheet in here. Come on in here, Brandon. Now jump up on the floorboard. Now sit down behind the wheel of the vehicle. Now what do you say you jump in there and make sure that the car is in fact in neutral? So Brandon, are you sure you're ready for this? You sure you can do this?
Yep, she's in neutral.
Okay. So I've got my foot on the brake. So here's our cheat sheet. It says turn off the fan and wiper, and we've already done that for you. The switch is off here and your wipers are off. You know why you have to turn both of those off?
Vacuum.
Yep, because you'll get a vacuum leak that'll actually fairly profoundly affect you from starting the vehicle. Step 2, pull the choke, spark, and crack open the throttle. So pull the choke. So go ahead and pull that one.
Pull it all the way out.
There you go. Now crack the throttle. Just pull that back just a little tiny bit.
There you go.
Okay, that's good. And now the spark. Okay,
Spark's open.
so that's good. And then your start switch is right there, so pull that one. All right, Brandon. Now here's where you're gonna have to reach real hard. You see that? See that pedal down there?
This one.
See that pedal? Go ahead and just press on it for just a second. Reach real hard down in there and press on that with your toes. Just for a second. Press on it and let go. Let go. What do you think? Do you know what you just did? You just started a 1931 Chevrolet 5-window Independence Coupe. What do you think of that? How does it run, Mike?
Sounds good.
All right, so yep, now we can start adjusting everything, taking off the throttle, taking off the choke.
Boy, listen to that.
So you guys ready to go for a ride? What do you think?
Yes.
Pretty cool car, huh? All right,
You hear that?
go ahead and, if you would please, yep, Brandon, slide over. And I'm gonna go hold on to the gear shift so you can slide over. Mike, you ready to go out for a ride?
Oh yeah.
So you can see here, our little straight six is just sort of ticking away. Of course, it's all mechanical tappets. This is very old school. So how long has it been since you got a chance to do this? Jump behind the wheel and take it out for a drive, Mike.
Long time.
Yeah.
Long time.
Kind of fun, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, hit the horn. That's the one thing that I was mentioning. It's not a real loud horn.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, is that
That's it.
Okay, hit it again.
It always was.
Okay. So, all right, because I was going to say, you can make it louder, but if you make it louder, it actually doesn't like to initiate and it'll hang up on you. That was sort of the loudest we were able to get it and make it work consistently. All right, so I will get the hood for you. Go ahead and close the door. You probably don't want to today, but all the windows go up and down magnificently. All your door handles work. Everything seems to work just the way it should. By the way, we could not get the turn signals and the hazards to work. You know why?
It didn't have any.
Yeah, it doesn't have turn. There you go. Hang on. Let's just see. Let me see left turn signal, right turn signal, and stop. No, down. There you go. All right, so now that I know your left turn signal, right turn signal, and stop lights work, actually it does have brake lights, and they work fine, and your headlights, your high and low beams, and your marker lights all work great. So, ready to go for a ride?
Yes.
I'm gonna get your hood here. It's gonna take me just a second. Okay. All right, gentlemen, you are about to get to go around the block in a vehicle that is older probably than anything you will ever drive in again. Is that cool?
Yeah.
Yep. All right, guys, go have a great trip around memory lane. Takes a little getting used to. There we go. Whoa, that's a beauty. Isn't that a beautiful car? Take this in the office. All right. All right, so we will chat with Mike and Brandon in a few minutes when they come back, so stay tuned.